Ya, Anda masih menyaksikan 30 Minutes with Rose Huskey, CEO Wavemaker Southeast Asia. Let's continue our conversation today. Rose, could you share about your clients here in Indonesia?
Yeah, so I'll just give you a couple of our key clients. One is Genius, which is a very big client that use a tremendous amount of our resource in the data and tech and digital space. And then we have L'Oreal, who's a really nice combination FMCG client that is very heavily on the digital side, but also to have very traditional channels and traditional method of advertising.
Yeah. Well, those are two very big names here in Indonesia. How many clients exactly are Wavemaker handling at the moment?
Yeah, we have a little bit over 30 clients, a mix of global client, regional client, and local client.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how important are your clients for the growth of Indonesia's economy?
I mean, I think we wouldn't be here without our client, right? And so I think for us, what I'm really proud of the Indonesia market as a whole is not only did we grow the business by 40% over last year, but out of that, I look almost 45% of the growth come from non-traditional media, which is about its content, it's about analytics, it's doing all the work that on the data and the tech side. So I think that's where we're adding a lot of value to our client today. It's not just on the traditional media planning, and buying print and TV and out of home. It's on all the outer scope that we are providing for the client.
All right.
Yeah.
You mentioned just now that people and talents is a very important source of Wavemaker. What actually makes a Wavemaker person?
Oh, okay, well that's nice. What makes a Wavemaker? I think a Wavemaker person, and I think what's really nice is because after the merger, we had to leave everything behind. I think it's really, it's for us is, I think leaving everything, all the legacy behind and creating a culture, a very honest and open culture. But I think for me, Wavemaker person, very curious, and at times can be extremely daring. It's because we're new. When you're the new kid on the block, backed up by a big giant like groom, you can actually test and learn a lot of stuff. I think the Wavemaker person is all about test and learn. For us, it's always like, can we test? Can we learn it? What are the new things happening? How do we upskill our talent? How do we get our talent involved in a lot more of what's happening in the industry? So I think that's what our client loves about us, is always bringing to the client what is the latest, newest, most exciting trend, products, services. Can we spend a little bit of money? Can we test it out? And can we scale it up? I think that's what's different, is that it's very quite agile and it's young. So then we get a little bit more flexibility to test in that space.
Yes. Yeah. What do you do? What does it take to groom a Wavemaker person, actually?
I think for me, first and foremost, is I keep saying training, but the reason I say that is because the industry is changing so quickly. The landscapes are changed. So that's why when we were talking about is we have to provide training service. That's why we have Circuit Street, which, as I mentioned earlier, Circuit Street is so critical to getting the skill set everyone needs in order to understand to do cross-media training. Cross-media planning. Planning across different platforms. I think that's first and foremost the number one thing that we have to make sure is the training in place. And are we giving our team and our talent the right support they need in order to finish their training, because sometimes our days are quite hectic. So I think for me that's always the number one criteria. And then we talk a little bit about career mobility, and I think the difference between being the number 2 agency in the world is providing that opportunity where our team can work in different markets within Southeast Asia or outside, and that they can either spend a week doing a project. I've had my team member in Indonesia went to Malaysia for 1 month to work on a L'Oreal project. I've had people go to Philippines to learn about how content's been developed and productions out of the Philippines to bring it back. We have people go to Vietnam, and I think it just goes on and on. So I think for us is giving our talent that opportunity to work across the network, whether it's short-term or long-term or career mobility, is the number one difference that we have compared to a lot of the smaller agencies that can provide.
All right. Okay.
And now they love it. Indonesian loves it. They love that opportunity.
Of course, yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now you are leading this whole pack of Wavemakers. How do you make sure that everyone is working in a unit and as according to the main principles of Wavemaker?
It's very easy. I think for me is we all have the same ambition. We're very client-centric. And I think for us is our business starts and ends with client. Everything we do is about taking care of our staff in order to get there. So our ambition when I go across each of the markets, it's really, really similar. We have the same, for us is take care of our client, make sure our client's business grow. We're very client-centric. And then, of course, first and foremost is how do we take care of our team members? Because to me, that is the all end of everything, right? So I think if you go to every market, the conversation is very similar. So whether it's about automating reporting so we can free our talent up so they could do more interesting stuff, whether it's about giving them mobility access to different markets, different projects, whether it's about giving them more training on platform that's not available in Indonesia but it's available in London or available in another markets. So to me, those are things, it's very consistent when you go across all the markets. Yeah.
And it's amazing to hear how you can try to manage everything and make sure that everything is still in balance,
Well, I think because I love what I do, and it's very easy to do, and when you're doing it for as long as I'm going to give you my age, but over 20 years, you start to understand, like you can sit with the client and understand what they need, so then you can go back in the team and go, the client needs this, our team needs these skill set, let's make it happen.
Wow.
And we come back. And I think that being very honest with the client, saying, this is what you need. We're not there today, but give us 5 months or 2 months or 1 month, we'll get there.
We'll get there, yeah.
Because we are a network. We can pull in resources, we can train people, we can put them out to different markets. I think that's the difference. And it's just moving the parts around.
All right, Rose, last question here.
Yes.
Where is the future goal of Wavemaker? What is it that will make you say, okay, this is my goal, my final goal, and we want to achieve that?
To be the #1 agency in the world.
Of course.
To be the most adored agency in the world by our client.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
And how do you make it happen? What else can you do to make it happen?
I think for me, so what else can I do? I'm constantly always reinventing the wheel. I'm always looking at it. Can we do it better? Can we do it faster? Can we outsource? Can we build it? So I think to me, those are the questions I wake up every day asking. Every process I go in, what is working today doesn't mean it's going to work tomorrow. So my job really is to go look at every process and go, can we actually can we simplify it? Can we automate it? Can we reduce this, but can we do better work here? So that's my role, is always thinking is how do we get there faster, better, more effective? Because that's my ultimate goal, is to be the #1 agency.
Nice, right? And that's what all Wavemakers are striving to do.
Yes.
Well, Rose Huskey, thank you so much for joining us in this dialogue today. Pemirsa, tuntas sudah kebersamaan kita kali ini. Atas nama kerabat kerja yang bertugas, saya Luisa Kusnandar mengucapkan terima kasih atas kebersamaan Anda. Sampai jumpa.